Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Dance Teacher Pep Talk. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so glad you are here. This is a space for dance teachers and anyone interested in teaching dance who is looking for motivation and fresh ideas. As teachers, we spend our days motivating and giving pep talks to our students, and now this podcast is a pep talk just for you. We hope that it helps to ignite new ideas and even work through some deep dance-related thoughts before you head into the studio. Thank you for your support, and now let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Dance Teacher Pep Talk, or if you're new here, welcome. Today's episode is a fun one to get started with, and I thought of it just in the spirit of Valentine's Day, which is coming up, and I always enjoy episodes like this, as a listener, and also like YouTube videos. I always find like a lot of inspiration in these types of episodes and videos. So today's episode is all about things I am currently loving, and I just thought it'd be fun to do this because, keeping it lighthearted, keeping it in the spirit of the season. And this is also winter where I'm at in New England, and I look for inspiration in any place that I can. So if something can bring me joy in my day or magic in my day, I am all for it because we are currently in a pattern of a lot of different storms. We're cooped up in the house a lot. And I know the whole notion too of getting outside, dress for the weather. I totally get it. I'm there. But I'm also in a season of my life where that would involve bundling up a toddler, 2 babies, myself, and by the time we're all bundled up, someone needs something and we're outside for maybe 5 minutes. So anyways, long story short, if there are things that I can do to bring magic into my day, I like to do that. And this episode is all about that. So whether you're a dance teacher or not, this episode could be for you. I do have some dance teacher specific items in here, but in general, I feel like anybody could get something out of this episode. And I do want to mention too that none of this is sponsored. These are just things that I enjoy. And like I said, I always love listening to episodes like this from other content creators. And like I said, I always find some interest in the items that they're sharing about. And before we get into today's episode, I do want to mention that next week there will not be a new episode because it is February vacation where I'm at. And because of that, I'm in full mom mode and probably won't have the space to record an episode. So the episodes will return the following week, but just a small little short break there. So let's get into the things that I am currently loving. So here we go. First thing, these are a pair of leggings that I have actually gotten multiple pairs in because as a postpartum mom, as a dance teacher, I live in leggings, anyways, going to the studio, around the house, around town, whatever. I just feel good in them. And I think it's so important that, especially postpartum, if you find something that you feel good in and it boosts your confidence or whatnot, you should go for it because those are the things that if you feel confident, it changes the whole tune of your day. So the leggings that I am so loving right now are the Gym People leggings, and I found them on Amazon. And I've actually been recommended them before. My sister loves the Gym People leggings, and it's so funny because I just didn't see I wasn't I need new leggings or anything like that. But now I really felt like I wanted to try them out. And I'm so glad I did because, there are so many amazing brands out there, so many beautiful leggings and all of these different things, but they can be so expensive. And I also want to say that leggings for me, I don't care what brand they are, the duration that they have of their life is not always super long. So for me, it was great to find a legging that was affordable and that I felt really good in. So the Gym People leggings on Amazon, love them, currently loving them. And I almost honestly feel like I should get another pair even as I'm talking about this right now. So that is one of my recommendations. Another recommendation, I have spoken on this podcast before about electrolytes and how I always feel that it gives me a boost in my day. But now, especially in postpartum where I feel my nutrients are changing or my needs are changing, I definitely feel a difference when I have electrolytes in my water, once in the day or whatnot. And the ones that I'm currently loving are Ultima, I think that's how you say it. But the pink lemonade flavor. And I know pink lemonade is not for everybody, but it feels like
a 90s summer day when you're drinking these. Like, and I don't mean 90s in the temperature. I mean like 90s as in the decade. Like, it tastes like country, what is that? Country Time, maybe? Like the powder lemonade mix. And it just reminds me of summers as a kid. So I like when I'm having that, especially like if it is like a single degree temperature day, it just like transport me to summer in my childhood. And like, what a beautiful thing is that? So the taste is really good. It's not super salty. Like, I know that I've recommended Element tea before, and with Element, it's like, it's very salty in my opinion. Great. I do love that, but I do tend to like cut the packet in half, like use only half of it when I'm having those. These I would say are not as salty. Maybe a little bit sweeter. So pick and choose what you enjoy. But yeah, love the pink lemonade. I'm not sure if you can get those on Amazon because I get mine through Thrive Market. But again, Thrive is also another good recommendation that I've been using. I did not have it on my list, but here we are. So yeah, Thrive Market. It is a shipping resource for, just different types of healthy goods, depending on like different diets that you may have, or like, dietary needs, I should say. And even like home products, like if you're looking to like, have specific ingredients in your home cleaning products and things like that. But I got Thrive when we were coming home from the hospital because I was like, I really need something where like, I know I'm not going grocery shopping right now. Like, I am strictly a grocery pickup girl. And so just because to bring 3 kids into the store right now is just not feasible. So Thrive was another place where I could get like snacks and other things, and in a way that like I felt good about. And so yes, I found the pink lemonade electrolytes there. All right, moving on. This is a random one, but good pens, like using a good pen. Now, if you're someone who's like typing a lot, computer, phone, like this one might not be for you, but like I love pen to paper. I love it. Actually, the next couple suggestions are all like pen to paper type of thing. So good pens. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I used to always put off using the good stuff. Like, somebody gave me like beautiful pens, like gifted me pens and like journal sets and like all this stuff. Great dance teacher gift, by the way. Love it. And I'd always be like, oh, I'll use that when I'm starting my recital choreography fresh, or like, oh, I'll use that at the start of the new dance year. And I'm like, why am I putting off using this pen? Like, I should use it right now. And I find that there is such a difference between just using like a cheapy, like, so many cent pen to like a really nice pen. And I don't even mean like getting a super expensive, like ballpoint, blah, blah, blah pen. Like, I mean, just like a nice pen that like you really enjoy. Like the ones that I like kind of have like sort of like a gel-ish style to it, but like not gel pen. Again, like not like the 90s millennial, person type of thing, but a nice pen. And the whole like reason I wanted to throw that into this episode too is, as I mentioned, I kept putting off the good stuff. And many of you know, if you've been listening to episodes or like following content on Dance Teacher Pep Talk, this entire calendar year from 2024 to now, we have been in the process of moving. Now, it is a process because, there's also renovation going on and all of this stuff. But like, when we were moving from our previous home, I was going through so many boxes and so many things about like, what do we actually want to bring to the new house? Because I didn't want to just like bring clutter into the new house, or things that we weren't using, or things that were not a part of our life anymore. And what was interesting is that like, I was finding all these incredible items. And I'm like, why is this in the closet? Or why is this over here? Like, why haven't I used this yet? And, it was one of these things where like, oh, I'll use that one at summer. Or like, oh, when we have a party, I'll bring that out, or whatever it is. But like, why was I not using the fancy stuff now? Like, it's going to just sit there. And so if it brings a spark or magic to your day, I highly recommend it. Like, even sheets, nice sheets on your bed. Like, I would put off using like, oh, the higher thread count ones or whatever. And it's like, use them now. Like, what is stopping you? And it will make your day so much more enjoyable. And you get to like feel those little luxuries, or, those big luxuries, honestly, in your day. And so that is just something that the whole thing about talking about good pens as a recommendation brought up for me. So I know that I said the next couple ones kind of have to do with writing. So the next thing that I am currently loving is journaling. Now, I love writing. I always have. And I feel like I go through different phases in the years with my writing. Sometimes I'm doing it every day, like journaling every day. Sometimes like I'll hit a lull where I just don't feel like I have anything to write. And lately, I just feel like this amazing flow of writing. And it's really interesting because I truly and honestly have not been feeling as creative in the studio, like choreographically, like the movement isn't coming the way that it used to. I kind of, not that I'm having like a writer's block situation, but it's kind of like I don't know. I'm not like feeling that like incredible flow of movement out of my body right now, but I am feeling that way with writing. And so what's really interesting is that I'm trying to tap into that more because like in my head, if I'm using this outlet, like this creative sort of path, maybe it will in turn like break whatever choreographic block that I'm having, because it's like, if we're just continuing to pour into ourselves and pour into our creativity, I feel like it kind of like overflows into all areas. So like for you, if you're feeling stuck in your choreography, maybe there's another creative outlet that's going to open up that overflow concept for you. So like whether it's painting or writing or anything like that, like something where you're feeling creative, I wonder if it's going to help us on the flip side in those other areas. So like I said, journaling. Now for me, like sometimes I don't have my journal nearby. Like sometimes I'm like doing stuff with the kids and all of a sudden like this thought will just pop into my head and I feel like I have to get it down. So I've been using my notes app a lot too. And sometimes like I'll go back and like read it like, oh, what was that thing I wrote down last week? And it's just like amazing because I feel like I don't even know who wrote that, but it's just like totally whatever it was that was inspiring me in that moment, I had to write it out. And so journaling, writing has been really hugely a creative outlet for me right now. So just wanted to share that. All right. Another thing I am loving. I love an agenda. Again, like so many of these things, I don't know if it's like nostalgic or something of like, I'm a millennial. If you are too, like maybe you can understand a lot of these things that I'm feeling nostalgic about. I don't know if it's the winter that's doing it to me. I don't know if it's postpartum that's doing it to me. I have no idea. But agenda books, like loved them. I was like the kid that like there was something about that scratchy front agenda book, like with the holographic designs, like writing out your homework and crossing it off. Like I love that feeling, like that checklist, that highlighter, whatever it is. And so I've always been an agenda person. And even like nowadays, like there's Google Calendar and there's like all these apps and these things where you can organize your whole life into your phone and into your computer. I have never been able to jump on that train. I have tried, but like it is just not the same for me. Like I also, like I said, I'm a pen to paper person. I also feel like I get it into my head better when I'm physically writing it versus when I'm like typing it in. Sometimes I just like forget about it after I type something. So loving specifically, and I go back and forth every year, different types of agendas, but this year I'm back to it. I love the Day Designer, and it's a daily planner. So it's not a weekly, monthly, it's a daily. And the reason why I love the Day Designer daily planners is because each day is a giant page, okay? And it has all the times, like every time of the day. It has a bulleted or like, a checkbox type of thing list for your to-dos. It has a space for notes. It has other little things, and there's a quote at the top of every page, a thought for the day. Beautiful. I love it. And so the Day Designer, like I said, that's all on every single page. So like today, when I opened it up to the date, okay, I have all of that. And so it's helpful for me because between my work schedule, kids' appointments, my appointments, and just parties, different things, events, blah, blah, blah. It's all there. I can write it all down. And then if I have specific items for that day, I like to write that down in the to-dos as well. And it helps keep me on track because something that's been so important for me lately is with the list, like, yeah, it's kind of annoying. I'd rather live my life in a little bit more of flow, but like the lists keep me on track because right now there's a lot going on in my life. And if I didn't have those lists, I think I'd feel like way more out of control. Like it would feel too chaotic. So having the list is really helpful. So the Day Designer. And along with that too, like what I do is like I go back, like, so if you're looking at a week, Sunday to Saturday, I'll see like, okay, like what are these items that I tend to do on Sunday? What are these items that I tend to do on Monday, Tuesday, etc.? And I try to break it up because it's helpful for me, especially at this time in my life, to have designated days. Now, I know it's not always going to be that way. And I know that things will kind of change it up. Like maybe I can't do grocery pickup on that day, or maybe I need to do it sooner because I'm running out of this item or whatnot. So I love that I can go back and look at like, okay, what were some of the Monday tasks that I had last week? Because most likely those Monday tasks are going to be the same ones that I have that Monday. But it helps to keep me organized. And that's another tip too, like for you, like if you're feeling overwhelmed or if things feel chaotic, try to designate days if you can. Like if there's a day each week where you sit down and you do bills, or if there's a day each week where you're doing grocery pickup, or if there are days, that you have a specific chore task that you need to do. Very helpful in that way. So the day designer, love it. I have, like I said, I've used other agendas before, but that's one that I always come back to, and they have them in different sizes. I used to go with like the smaller one, not like super small, but like medium size. And I was like, no way, I'm going for the big one. I used the 8x10 or whatever. It's like the bigger size one. But I love it. All right. Another thing that I'm loving right now is time and space for me. Now that probably just seems like, yeah, isn't that a given? Like, shouldn't everybody find time and space for themselves? But, we talk about it a lot, like as, self-care being important, all this stuff, especially like as a dance teacher, we don't want to burn out. We want to have like this time and space for ourselves that doesn't have to do with dance, that doesn't have to do with anything. But like, I now see how completely vital it is. And I like to make that time and space for myself to feel special, to feel really like I'm giving back to myself. And it could be in different ways. And not every day am I going to get that time and space for myself, but I just see so much value in it. So I know that's like not a big one, but a good reminder, especially again, if you're feeling overwhelmed or chaotic, see if you can find that time and space for self and disconnect, because I do think it's hugely important. All right. And lastly, well, I guess, yeah, I had a couple others, but they're not as like big or important. But the last one that I want to recommend, because I feel it is so important, especially like depending on where you are. Like I mentioned, it is winter here where I'm living. And so spending time indoors a little bit more, I feel like I'm spending more time with technology a lot more. Like I'm on my phone more, watching TV more, things like that. The days are not like, I'm not outside as much as I would want to be at this time. But I know that's not always going to be the case. So with this, whether I'm scrolling on my phone or things like that, I want my time to be used purposefully. And this is really important because like sometimes, I go to grab my phone in moments where I feel bored, in moments where I feel low, like I'm seeking that inspiration. And I know that there's been a whole like bunch of studies done on this. I know there have been books written about this, about the whole like dopamine hit that we get when we're like opening up Instagram and all this stuff. Like I understand that that's there. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop scrolling. It doesn't mean like, I understand that what my mind is doing in that moment, but now it's more so like, am I using this time purposefully? And so what I wanted to mention is that I really have only been following Instagram accounts that are inspiring, uplifting, things that give me purpose towards like, what am I going to do next? What can I take away from this? Because I think, I'm going to sort of like relay this specifically to mom content, because this is the thing. I think that with mom content, there's a lot of different styles out there. There is a lot that talk about how hard it is. And, I'm glad that those accounts are out there, only because like it's a good realization to understand that it isn't super easy. But with it being so hard, I want to know, like, what are you going to do about that? So like, yeah, I understand that the message is like that it's hard and like all this and like, but in the moment when I'm scrolling, like I said, maybe I'm feeling in a state of low. Maybe I'm feeling bored. So like for me, I don't want to stay at that level. Like I don't want to stay in that frequency and ruminate on complaining. Like I want to see the uplift. I want to see like, it's hard, but this is what you can do and things like that. And I understand there's content out there for everyone. Some people need that content. Some people need to see the hard stuff so that they feel validated. But like I said, for me, I don't want to sit in it. I want to move along with it. Like, it's kind of like, when you're complaining about something and then the other person in the conversation is complaining back, like, think about the energy of that. Like, it's just heavy. It is a lot of complaining energy. So for me, I understand, get your thoughts out, get your feelings out, but it's the constructive side of that. Like, what are we going to do about it? If you're not feeling great, like, how are you going to get out of that space? And that is a productivity and like the feeling that I want and need, that I'm so looking for. And so I love accounts that just feel so uplifting. Like, I've got this, and it's so funny because as, being a twin mom, toddler mom, things like that, like a lot of like new recommendations for like profiles to follow or people to follow or whatever come up. And so I followed one and I was like, oh my God, this girl seems so familiar. And she's a dancer. And so I just wanted to share Emily Scott James, her Instagram. She's been on So You Think You Can Dance, but like, I love her content because this is a thing. She's a twin mom and a toddler mom. So like, I relate in that respect, but she has this uplift. So like, this thing that she does like every day on her Instagram or like, during the weekdays is like, she has like a dance party in the car on the way to daycare, like on the way to school or whatever. And it's so funny because like my daughter and I did that anyways, but like we added a whole other level to it. And now it's like so fun. And like, it doesn't matter how hard the night was. It doesn't matter like how many times I was up. It's like this feeling of like, okay, like what am I going to do about it? You've got your coffee, you've got your music. And so it's just a beautiful thing to do. And so I love that her content, like specifically, is that like, yes, it's hard. She's up in the middle of the night and there she is saying like hello to everybody that's up. And I love that feeling. And then it's like, okay, now the morning is here. Or like, what are you going to do in this moment to like make this feel better, make this feel like special and bright because you're tired or like, you're hurting or whatnot. And it's so nice to feel like you can do something about that. You can do something about it and change the way that you're feeling and change the way that you're looking at things. So really enjoy that. Whether you're a twin parent, a parent in general or not, she'll even post like beautiful dance content. Oh my gosh. So follow her. I mean, just, again, I just got a lot of inspiration from her, and maybe there are other accounts out there too. But I think in general too, like aside from mom content, if you're following accounts that are just like draining you when you're looking at them, or like there's a post that comes up and it like triggers something in you, I think those are big questions to ask. Like, should I be taking this content in right now? Like, is it too much for me? Like, is it providing inspiration and spark in my day? If it's not, I don't really, maybe you should silence it. I think you can do that. Like, silence the account for a little bit and come back to it another time. But like, I think it's just so important to see where your energy is reacting to and like where you want it to go to. So to understand that for yourself. And so I think, with Valentine's Day coming up, like I said, I wanted to do this, but like, this is a great check-in any time of year. What are things that you're loving? Put together your own list, like even in your head, or like, set aside some time for yourself at the beginning of the day, like not a gratitude list. Like, it could take the form of a gratitude list for sure, but like, what are the things that you love in your day right now? And where can you add more to that? Because it's like one of those things, like you're going through your day anyways. So how can you acknowledge things that feel special in it, or bring those items that feel special into it if you're not feeling that way? So I just wanted to share some of the things that I'm currently really enjoying and really loving. And I hope that you all feel inspired by today's episode. Make your own things you love list. Look for other lists, especially for people that live in the same climate as you and the same season as you, because, maybe there's going to be an item that you need seasonally right now, or not even an item, but just a feeling or a thought. So I am so enjoying sharing these episodes with all of you, and I'm so happy that you're all here. If you feel called to rate or review the podcast, please do. It helps get the message out to other dance teachers as well that we are here. And if you feel inspired to share this episode with a friend, I always love that too. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Dance Teacher Pep Talk, where I share different classroom ideas. And also, talking about Valentine's Day, I have reshared some of my Valentine's Day activities in my stories, and I'll try to do that again next week because I shared it early in the month. So I'll do that. And then also in playlists, I have a Valentine's jazz and a Valentine's contemporary playlist. And so if you go under my highlights, there's a playlist highlight. And so you can find the links to those there on my Spotify. So if you're interested in getting some Valentine's music for your classes. So thank you all so much for being here. I won't talk with you next week, but I will be back the following. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your day.